Liam, tough way to start the season. Your reflections immediately after today's game?
I think the initial emotion is disappointment, frustration. I think obviously to lose the game, and I think it's reflecting on it, right? I think you get the rawness in the initial aspect of what the game looked like, and then you obviously get the bigger picture of kind of where we're at. Of course, we'd love to have hit the ground running, played perfectly, and it looked great, felt great, and won, but. Opening games are extremely difficult. So I think when you looked at it, if you analyse it, I thought the first 25 minutes started extremely well, played well, good control, played in their half of the pitch, exactly what we wanted it to look like. Then, it was difficult as it is in the Championship to control a game for long periods. We kind of, stopped doing the basics well enough to earn the right to keep that control. And overall first half, I thought there were some positives to take from it. And then second half was just nowhere near the level for what we need it to be. I think we're quite clear, what it looks like and where we need to get to, and we understand we're going to have to go on a bit of a journey to get there. We just have to accelerate it and take some tough learnings from today and make sure that we own it, we take responsibility, and we quickly move forward.
The way you set your team and squad up today, is that to match to the opposition, or is that something we're likely to see going forward?
Yeah, I think for me there'll be small tweaks, but I think the biggest bit will be how it looks. I think in terms of understanding how to play it, physically being able to play it, developing relationships will naturally take time. I think that was the big issue second half. When you looked at it, we can talk about tactics, but it's just more in terms of decisions, which we can do all the training, all the games, but it was a great lesson for me today in terms of how do we cope under pressure, and that we're talking about the result as well as second half Millwall come out more aggressive. How do we cope with that? So. Those bits will get better. I think it's more, when it's tough, what does it look like? How do we wrestle control back? We didn't do that second half for long enough. And ultimately, despite all of the feel of the game, they're just disappointed to concede such poor goals.
Are you the type of coach who says a lot in the dressing room after a result like that, or do you let some of the lads do the talking?
Sarge just spoke, and then I spoke. I always will do, I think, in terms of... And it's important the lads see and feel emotion as well. We have to hurt when we lose. We have to be disappointed when we don't perform to the level that that we need to. But just said in there, nothing's decided in the first day of the season. We have to take responsibility. I think that's the biggest bit. And what our job is, and why I know we'll improve, is that we'll look at it, we'll analyse it, we'll sit with the lads, we'll have some difficult conversations, we'll challenge them to step up and take responsibility in moments like this afternoon second half, and that's the way you get better for me. That's the way you improve, is by being real open and honest with yourself.
A moment of personal pride for you, your first game in charge of a packed out Carrow Road. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was terrific at the start. It probably disappointed now in terms of that we couldn't give the fans a better performance and a win. I think we're going to go on a journey. I'm quite clear on that, but I'm delighted to be here. The atmosphere at the start was excellent. So we have to, like I said, we have to work really hard to make sure that we earn the right of the support of the fans, and I'll make sure that we do that.
How will you address and approach Tuesday night's cup game now?
Numerous bits. We've obviously it's one of those, you see it today, people need minutes, people need progressing in that side of it, and we'll continue to get better as the games increase. So we'll have a look at it, we'll see everybody got through today, we'll make some assessments, and then we'll be straight into getting ready for Tuesday.
Saw Amankwah come off looking a little bit distressed. Any news on him, or is it too early?
Too early. I need to speak to the medical side. I don't think it's anything major. I think it was more just disappointment and cramp than anything. So I'll have a chat with Bertz and see how he is.
Liam, thanks for your time.
Thank you.